You had some whites who came in, didn't realize that when you use the N word toward a black, that you could have some serious problems. And some of them did that. So the Army saw that it had a problem, that it had to do something. And indeed they did. And what they found out was, I think only about 2% of the officers in Vietnam were African Americans. During the first part of that war, let's say 65, 66, 25 to 26% of the KIAs were African Americans. And that became a problem. And the word cannon fodder, or the African Americans being used as cannon fodder. Well, I'll tell you, that wasn't the situation. What it was African Americans generally preferred and went to the combat arms. That was where you got the rank, because all rank came down first to the combat arms. So you had a chance of making rank pretty fast. You did it there. And second, those were the elite units of the Army at that time. And yes, a lot of us were gung-ho. We were predominant in the airborne units. And then the other reason was we wanted the chance to prove that we were good and that we would fight for our country, and we did. The downside of it was when it was time to give out the medals, and that's when I began to get into trouble. Blacks were not getting the medals. And that was one of the issues with my captain when I'm only in E4 now, and I'm confronting, as diplomatically as I could, a captain as to why there were no blacks getting medals, and all of the medals were given to the whites. And I guess my tone accused him. And so I had asked some blacks NCOs, why aren't blacks getting medals? And they said, well, listen, we recommended this particular person for a Bronze Star, we recommended this guy for a Silver Star, and nothing ever became of it. So that was the basis of my confrontation with the captain, and of course I requested his permission to go to the IG. And once again, you just don't do that because you're saying that you have no faith in his particular leadership. So that's when I began to have my problems.